All right, welcome back to the latest episode of Measure of a Movie. Um, Lance, this week I'm posing the question: have you seen Sadako versus Kayako?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, it was. I thought you were introducing me to a dumpster fire, and as it turns out,
I wouldn't do that to you.
it was. Yeah, it was actually a very good movie. As a matter of fact, after I watched the flick, I went ahead and did a little extra credit.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I found the cursed video online, and I went ahead and watched it, and I gotta say, it's pretty creepy, compelling stuff. But hello.
Who is it?
I don't know. It's a dropped call.
Oh, okay.
Um,
So, well, so this is a relatively new-ish movie. It dropped on YouTube back in September of this year. So, I mean, it's new enough that I think we're going to be talking about it a bit in depth. So let's put our thoughts to the forefront of this particular video.
so it said at the beginning of it, it said it was Shutter. So is it also
So
on Shutter?
yes, this I think from what I understand, it's a Shudder exclusive. But at some point in time, they released it on YouTube. Which on YouTube, it came like the date it said published was September 28th of 2021.
It's a good day.
I guess. So I'm assuming that it is newer on YouTube, but probably a little bit. I think the actual movie itself was like 2016. So it's an older movie, but I think it's becoming a bit more accessible now and just,
So people can just like go find it on YouTube.
yeah, I could have rented or bought it on YouTube, but I'm like, I'm going to want to watch this again. So I just flat out bought it.
Okay. Well, I guess that kind of tells the tale on what you thought about the movie.
Well, I mean, I did that before I watched the movie. It's just because my favorite horror movie is The Grudge.
Okay.
And going...
Favorite?
Yes.
Okay.
And so going into this one, I'm like, even if it's kind of bad, I'm probably going to have some manner of fun with it. Either because it's a bad movie, and bad movies can be fun to watch, or it's just actually going to be good, and I'm just going to enjoy myself watching it.
Okay, so I have to ask: is your favorite horror movie The Grudge or
Ju-on?
Ju-on?
The Grudge. The
Okay.
one with Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Got it. Buffy getting killed by hair demons. All right,
Yes.
got it.
Hey, she doesn't die in that movie.
I think that's debatable.
No, she dies in the next movie.
Oh, okay.
Spoilers for Grudge 1 and 2, but those ones are old.
Yeah, I was kind of doubting them, and then I saw my wife nodding very, very fervently off camera. It's
Buffy dies in the second one.
okay. It's been a very long time since I've seen them. The only thing I mainly remember about the first Grudge movie is about 10 minutes into the flick.
Yeah.
We were at the theater that night.
Yes.
And
It was the scene in which she pokes her head up into the
attic.
into the attic.
And then it's like right behind her head, and some lady in the front row was like, "I have got to go," and it tore down the theater, and like whatever creepiness was in that particular part, it was just gone. So if the lady who said that in the theater that night is watching this video, please call us because we love you. That was so well timed, and it was just mwah.
And that was later on in the movie when Sarah Michelle Gellar was running back to the cursed house to like stop her boyfriend, and someone in the front row yelled, "Run, Buffy, run!"
yeah. That it's other than The Room, I think that was one of my favorite audience participation movies. Unintentional,
Yeah.
even.
Well,
But
there was those only two bits. For the most part, those movies, I think, or that movie in particular, kind of held the theater at attention.
Yeah.
And just during a couple instances in which to break tension, people were kind of not calling out, not feeling like, oh,
yeah.
not feeling it or whatever.
Well, we'll have to round on those movies again. We have to make like a little separate channel called like Rewatch or something like that to see if it holds up to the scrutiny of time.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, I watched The Grudge this year twice, and it's still a perfect 10 for me just because I love that fucking movie.
Okay.
I love that movie.
Then I guess I'll do my version of it and be like, "Hey Lance, do you remember if this was a good movie?" That could be a bit.
Well, that's one that I go back to and watch on occasion, and it's one I wouldn't watch like by myself for a long time, and then this year I'm like, I'm gonna watch it myself. I think the last time I watched it was with my brother, like before 2017. So, like at that point in time, I'm like, well, now I just have to rewatch it even without him.
Okay. Well, so I thought this movie was a lot of fun. I was dreading it.
I don't know why you would dread a movie I picked for you.
Well, we established in the beginning when we were going to start doing these things that like it was going to be, hey, have you watched a good movie I liked, and hey, have you watched a horrible movie? So, but we never really established. It's just the title of the thing is just, hey, have you watched?
Yeah.
I have no idea what we're walking into.
Yes.
So I know that curveball's coming, and I thought that might have been this movie, but I have to say, really good movie. Very enjoyable, a lot of fun. You're going to end up like, I'm the kind of person that when I'm watching a flick, I need like people to not be talking. I like to pay attention so I can kind of soak up the storyline. This one was very, very predictable in a lot of places.
Yeah.
It was very convenient.
Sure.
Yeah. But it was like we were just lampooning it as the movie was going on. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, I have to say, if I was to give this movie a rating of 0 to 10, and that's our thing as far as I know, patent pending.
Just so that 5 is directly in the middle.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we didn't take it to 11, even though that's the scale, so we're not stealing from Spinal Tap. So, yeah. Anyways, if I was to give this movie a rating, I'd say it's a solid 7.
That's about where I'm sitting too.
Yeah, I would definitely watch this again. It'd be one of those good movies that, like, if your friends come over, you got a couple of beers in you, you're having a good time, you're like, dude, I gotta show you this flick. And then you play the curse tape, and they're like, what the fuck, dude? And then you watch the movie after that. But yeah, that's my rating for it. And you give it a 7 as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a little bit more above average because like a 6 is like just a bit above average.
Right.
I think this one had enough fun stuff in it that I'll go back and watch it on multiple occasions. Me buying it, I think we'll get multiple viewings out of it, and I've already at least gotten 2.
Gotta hook me up with that password so I can watch it again later.
Yeah, unfortunately with YouTube passwords, that one's a lot harder to share because that's my email.
Oh yeah, well, I can write some interesting emails to people. After that, you got to hit me with that password.
Yeah.
So now that we've established that, we're going to be heading into spoiler territory because we're going to talk about this movie. So if you want to not have this ruined and go see it, you might want to stop it now, and you'll want to pick back up at this particular mark in the video. And I'm kidding because we don't know how to do that. So just, I don't know, feel around and see if you can find out when we stop talking about it.
8 minutes. There it is.
Sure, let's do that. You've been warned.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
beat it.
So, I can't remember like why I decided to look this one up. It was one I'd seen the previews for like a long time ago, and I'm like, I wonder if that movie ever came out. And then I just happened to look it up, and it was like there on YouTube, like to buy. So I'm like, well, shit, I'm gonna buy that one. And I mean, so I decided to sit down and like watch it. I think I bought it and then was gonna watch it later because I think even in one of these other videos, I kind of talked about the fact that hey, I downloaded this movie, and if I watch it and I like it, I'm gonna make you watch it.
So we've established what the movie was called, but we told them basically what the movie.
Okay, so Sadako is the girl from The Grudge,
Right.
or from The Ring rather.
Yeah.
And Kayako is the girl from The Grudge. So this is Ringu versus Ju-on, the Japanese Ring versus the Japanese Grudge.
We should have covered that before we headed into spoiler territory because people are like, I don't know what they're talking about.
If you're looking up Sadako and Kayako, you know what you're looking up.
Make sure you type in Sadako, because if you type in sodomy, you are going to be either very happy or very disgusted. So, anyways, sorry, had to cover that. Also, spoiler.
Well, not spoiler.
But
although a couple people do get reamed in this movie.
Yeah. Right in the Ringu. So, first thing I want to talk about.
Yes.
Is how stupid the people in these movies are.
I mean, you got to be to move the story forward at some point, because I mean, we're watching it from the perspective of like, no, that house is cursed. If you're going to that house, you're going to die.
Right.
Whereas in that universe, it's just kind of like, there's no such thing as a curse. I'm just gonna go into the house.
But still, like, there's 500 stories about people who go missing in that area. Burn the fucking house down. Like, I think that when I pointed that out while you were watching the movie, and I think my wife was like, it doesn't matter, you can burn the house down and the curse still follows you. But people can't go in the house after that. Does it, like, end with that person?
So I can't. It's been a long time since I've seen The Grudge 2, but it ended up someone who had picked up the curse transferred it to a different location, and then that location became cursed. So the curse is just going to go somewhere else. Like someone who's cursed by it's going to go somewhere, and it's just going to... Now that's the cursed house, and that's the death house that everyone goes to.
I feel like they missed an opportunity with that movie because I do remember, and I don't remember if it was like the Japanese versions or if it was the American version, but like some chick got cursed, went back to her apartment, and then like she like crawled underneath the covers and like hid herself underneath the covers like a 5-year-old, and then like the monster, like the chick came up from underneath the covers and like drug her down to hell.
It's she like reached down and the little fuzzy lucky foot from her phone that was snatched earlier was there, and then she looked under the covers and there was Kayako.
Okay, well it's like, why doesn't it could have been a lot cooler if like, since Kayako was in that apartment, now that apartment's cursed. Like she could have really got her kill count up.
Yeah, but with every building that she goes into, she kind of curses as well.
Yeah, like there's an attachment. Because they kind of make... Well, you know what? That's later for the story, but I will just say they do that whole threads of like people who get cursed. They're like attached by watching the tape from Sadako.
Yeah.
Or Samara, if you're more familiar with The Ring.
Yeah, so So Samara was the American version of the girl, and the Japanese one was Sadako. Although I've never actually seen Ringu. Although I need to watch it at some point in time.
Hey, Nick.
Have you seen the Ringu?
I have.
Oh, okay.
I actually have it on DVD, so I can like loan it to you.
Oh, if you do have that, I'd be down. I'd be down for that one.
I think I actually have Ringu 2 too.
Is this the Ring? Because I've seen the Ring. I've not seen the Japanese version, which is the one that I kind of want to see.
A buddy of mine, Steve, back in the day, he's a huge movie aficionado, and he's actually turning out some really good flicks out there. I'll have to throw a shout out to him at the end of this video, or at least the next one. I gotta make sure he's cool with me saying his stuff on this low brow podcast, or not even a podcast, just YouTube series. But anyways, he was really big into watching movies like that. He would always like pop up with like these niche movies, and like before like The Ring came out, he popped up with Ringu. He popped up with Ju-on. So we ended up watching a lot of that, as well as like a lot of Shaw Brothers martial arts movies from back in the day and stuff like that. Like he would just show up with like all the stuff, and we'd get really, really high and a little drunk, watch these movies, have a great time. That's probably why I don't remember a lot of them when I saw them in the theater, the American versions. But that said, it was a great movie. Those people are idiots. Like, it seems like every single one of them got like whiteitis, where it's like, you know, they always talk about, you know, some people when they go in the house, they hear "get out," and they're just like, "fuck this," and dip. And like these people, they hear "get out," and they're like, "hello, does anybody need help in here?" So yeah, that's one of my little problems.
I don't think it's, especially in this, like, usually when you watch a lot of those the Grudge movies or whatever, you like get cursed, and then like later she'll come, you might see some spooky stuff. Usually there's the one person that has like the extended curse going on, the extended spookiness, which was Sarah Michelle Gellar in the movie, because she kept being like, oh, now she's in the shower touching her hair, and she's driving by and sees her flash in the window, and then some people just walk in the house and be like, screw you, dead. And this movie was more of the just screw you, dead version of it, because I think because they're trying to jam two kind of storylines for these creatures into one movie in order to kind of give Kayako a bit more kind of kill count, you just have people walk into the house and then pretty quickly die.
Well, I mean, let's be fair. Yep. Kayako really wasn't running up the scoreboard on this one. Toshio was like, he was the breadwinner of this particular movie. Like, I know it said it was Kayako versus Sadako, but like Toshio was just like, you know what? I didn't get top billing, so I'm just gonna start killing motherfuckers.
Well, Kayako, Toshio, and the cat are all kind of like one package cursed deal.
And they didn't even give like the dad, like.
So, from what was a deleted scene in, like, The Grudge, was the dad was the supposed first victim of Kayako. Mm-hmm. So, he might not technically be part of the curse, but rather just killed by the curse and can thus be used by it. kind of like when and in The Grudge, like the girl watched, or the girl's brother like called her up on the phone, and he'd already died to the curse, but now that he died to it, like Kayako can use him. So I think Kayako can use the husband, but he's not necessarily part of the curse. I'm not entirely sure. Again, that was deleted scene, so I don't know if
it's with these movies. It's like, so they'll keep moving the goalpost. So like, you know, in The Ring, it was like, okay, if you watch this movie, you're gonna die in 7 days. Yeah. American version. Apparently, in the Japanese version, if you watch the movie,
I think it was changed for just this movie.
This,
yeah.
Yeah, it's like, okay, we had to step it up because
it's 2 days in this movie.
In this movie, it's 2 days, and then you don't even get the decency of a whisper on the phone of like 7 days. Like it's just like
it's static.
It sounds like someone's trying to connect to your modem and send you a fax.
Yeah. Maybe Sadako was trying to fax everyone. They just keep picking up the phone.
Yeah, and then finally when it comes through, if it just happens to be connected to a fax machine, you pick up the paper and it just says 2 days.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I don't feel like Kayako really got her just desserts in this movie.
It definitely seems like this is a Ring movie, and then like the curse or the grudge is in it.
Yeah. So we were keeping a kill count, right?
Yes.
Okay. So at the end of the day, and we're gonna get this a little messed up because what we decided before we started the video.
So I want to count them as separate and then jam together, because Sadako's kill count, like when she was on her own, was 8.
And that's the Ring girl.
Yes.
Okay. So she had 8.
And then Kayako, as the Grudge girl, had 6. And then like when they were like merging or / merged, they had maybe 2 definitely, and maybe 2 more. If they probably died, but if they ever make a sequel, you could bring them back at the start of the sequel and then kill them at the start of the sequel.
And then I guess that moves the kill count if you're separating by movies. What I thought you were actually saying when you were saying that you wanted to separate them was, were we going to do Toshio and Kayako's?
See, those are the same.
Yeah, we decided they were a package deal, right?
Yeah, they're a package deal.
Okay.
Because Kayako really only killed like 1 person. No, 2. No, yeah, 2. Well, she killed the mom and she killed the one of the kids, and then Toshio like gigged the other 4, like the other 3 kids, and then the dad.
That's true. That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
But as a package deal, they killed 6, and then Sadako iced Toshio pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So for a movie called Sadako versus Kayako, you get very little Sadako versus Kayako, which was going to be like, it'd be a gripe. Because, it'd be cool to see them fight more. But, you also... It's like Godzilla versus King Kong. You have them fight once in the water, so Godzilla wins. And then you have them fight them once in the city, so Kong wins. And then they team up and they fight the big bad thing. You can't really do that in this movie. Because, once these things come for you, you dead.
So, spoiler for this as well. So, they had the fight in the water, and Godzilla won. The fight in the city, Godzilla also won again.
I think it was...
And then, King Kong gave him the bow, and Godzilla was like, "That's right, motherfucker." And then that's when the third, a new combatant entered the ring, and then they had to team up.
So I guess I thought I remember King Kong doing really well in the city because he had shit to swing off of.
And he had an axe.
Yeah.
That was charged up with radiation. One of my favorite memes for that movie was the picture of the gorilla sitting in front of all the people. And he's like, "Well, see, I'm just an ape, and this guy's got nuclear breath."
Yeah. I'm a big monkey. He's nuclear lizard.
But we're not talking about that movie.
Yes, but I'm just kind of using that as a springboard for in King Kong versus Godzilla. You got them fighting just twice. Really. And then you've kind of got bits with them each doing their own little bits of mayhem. Although I think King Kong was a bit more subdued in that one. But so in this one, you've got Sadako doing her kind of killings. You've got Kayako doing her killings. Someone who was cursed by Sadako. They try to get that exorcised. And they're like, well, you know what? I can't cure it. But you know what would happen if we took you to another curse and had the 2 curses try to fight each other? Because if you try to kill yourself or if anyone tries to kill you while you're cursed by Sadako, she's not having any of that.
Yeah, she'll show up and snap your fucking neck.
Yeah. So if we bring her somewhere where another curse is going to come to try to kill you, Sadako's going to be like, nah, that's my bitch. I get to kill her.
Which didn't make any sense when the demon hunter or the demon killer guy threw the bag with the hair in the house. Was that just a distraction? Because it didn't work because the mom still died.
Yeah. I think it was... Because when he pulled it out of her, it was like sentient and like moving, and then he just kind of like, I guess, did his little somatic component and like pacified it, and then threw it like a Sadako bomb into the house, and it exploded in evil. It's a Tanglefoot bag, like in Dungeons and Dragons.
We can't even keep the Dungeons and Dragons podcast on.
I mean,
yeah. Me too. I play the Big Lebowski RPG on the weekends.
Oh, okay.
So, but yeah, so the kill count was impressive. It definitely went to Sadako or Samara. If you're just put the S's, same girl. But yeah, it was crazy how like, okay, the movie starts out, the girl goes into the house, she gets killed. Then you have the tape, the VCR just conveniently show up at a junk shop, and then the girl buys it because she wants to dub a tape.
Yeah. So yeah, you've got Natsumi and Yuri.
Yeah, she wants to dub a tape, so they go and buy the VCR. They find the tape on the inside after they go through a course in college
where the guy was talking about
creatures.
Yeah.
Or so we are having get down in the comments and let us know what you think about this. So we think that maybe Kayako in Samara are tulpas. Demons that are basically conjured because there's enough belief behind them, or the more you believe in them, the more real they become. And because these stories get out where they're talking about the cursed tape, that, like if the kids died near the house, we know the house is cursed.
If it gives it some sort of power or something like that.
Yeah, well, it's like they even said, like, the more you're scared, like, the worse it's going to be. So just like most of the demons and devils and spirits, like, if you have fear, it gives it power, kind of a thing.
So, I believe it's called an onmyo, is what the legend, or what these stories are based off of, Japanese legend. It's onmyo, I think. I'd have to double check, but it's that kind of woman who was killed in a fit of like anger and fury, and then kind of comes back and kind of gets her revenge. And they're known for that kind of ghoulish look and the long hair, and then kind of like if you had a bunch of vampires and you made it like a Dracula movie. You've got the Dracula vampire, and then you've got the Lestat vampire. So you have the Sadako onmyo, and then you have the Kayako onmyo. They're both like, if this movie was vampire versus vampire, this one is onmyo versus onmyo.
Okay.
And they're just kind of unkillable, angry as like all hell curses that just kind of like, if you get cursed by them, they're gonna kill you.
Okay. Well, this movie even changed the rules. Because I can't remember what it was in Ju-on, but in The Ring, if you gave the tape to somebody else and they watched it, the curse is supposed to skip over you.
Yeah.
Or,
like in the American one, if you made a copy.
Yeah, if you made a copy and like other people watched it, the curse is supposed to skip over you. And then they conveniently said in the movie, it's like, well, I watched it, so my friend will live, right? And the little girl in the movie is like,
yeah, you shouldn't believe that.
You fell for that shit? Okay. So they changed the rules on that. And I mean, it would have almost been better if the little girl wouldn't have said anything, and then, like she just showed up and basically iced her. And it was kind of like, okay, well then that is bullshit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was.
Well, you had to give Natsumi time to upload the cursed video to the internet.
Yeah, I guess it's too late to say. We said spoilers, but I mean, it's heavy spoilers.
Oh, well, yeah, spoilers.
Yeah,
we're talking about the movie.
Yeah. So, if you got up to get a drink when we said the spoilers part, sorry, here we are. But
yeah, if you don't pause your video when you walk away from it, I mean, that's your own fault.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Anyways, but yeah, it was very enjoyable. I loved watching it just because. Honestly, it's the first time in a very long time where I've had the experience of like almost feeling giddy watching it, because like every single turn of the movie, just something else that's like crazy happens. And, and it's just, I had a lot of fun, like basically just kind of chit chatting with you all through the movie on the deaths and stuff.
Kind of like theorizing. So this is one that I'd seen before, and it's on my YouTube, and like, how about I just come over, and because usually we watch the movie on our own time, and so we don't cross-contaminate, talk about the movie before we sit down and record it, because we want these to feel a bit more like a natural conversation as opposed to something scripted.
And even tonight, we didn't really talk about it after we got up.
No. It was just kind of you pausing occasionally and being like, I theorized that this is going to happen, and just being in the background. Oh, okay.
Was I ever right?
I think a couple times you and Amber had kind of pointed out a couple things that were, you could kind of see where it was going. Like, oh, they're going to go into the house and make her watch the tape in the house. I'm like, well, yeah.
Well, see, I was just kind of bullshitting on that because I thought, because it's a cursed house and no one lives there, like the fucking power's not on. But for some,
they wheeled in like a battery or something like that.
Okay,
because they had an entire wheeled system in which they wheeled in the TV and the VCR and probably like a battery pack of some sort.
I just don't see why that was necessary because you at least get 2 days after you watch the tape. So it's like...
So I wonder if they think that if bringing the tape into the cursed house will somehow curse the tape too. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they never really explain that, but it's like, okay, the one girl walked in the house, she's going to die. Mm-hmm. That chick could have shown up in her house and iced her at any times because Kayako don't fuck around. She just straight shows up and ices you. It doesn't matter where you're at. You could be in Walmart, like buying your.
But she usually wants you to, like all the kills I've ever seen. It's you're either alone or you're with someone else who is also cursed, and then she'll like get the two for one deal. It's like, oh, you're both cursed. I might as well show up at your place and can kill you both. But like if I was cursed and you weren't, and I was sitting here, we'd be fine. But then you'd get up and go to the bathroom, and you'd come back, and I'd be like neck snapped or just flat out gone.
Yeah. So there's that. So yeah. You have the one girl who's cursed by the house. You have the one girl who's cursed by the tape.
Yeah.
So you have the house girl watch the tape. You have 2 days to make it to the house. They were basically next door. So it's like, let's just both walk in there together. Mm-hmm. And then, okay, here comes Kayako and Toshio and the cat to kill him. And then Sadako shows up to do puzzles with you. And then they fight. So, like, you still could have gotten there either way. It just seemed like it added more of a comical element. It's like, okay, we're going to push the cart that you saw in school back in the day that had, like, the TV and the VCR into the house. And then it's like, then they even had beats where it was like, you, watch the tape now.
Yeah.
Okay, and now you watch the tape.
Yeah, don't look away.
Yeah. And no matter what happens, just don't look away. I just thought it was funny.
It was kind of funny. I mean, all of it's kind of funny. I mean, anytime, like, a little kid hops on someone's shoulders and like pulls their head off, or just like pulls their head around. I mean, it's conveniently like cutting away, so you never see most of it, except for like the dad. It shows his neck like stretch a little bit, and then he gets pulled up into oblivion. Which, like, I don't know if you caught it when we were watching the movie, but like when the two parents ran into the movie and like looked at the stairs, I kind of chuckled because I remembered how silly it looked when Toshio hopped on his shoulder and pulled his head up.
No,
I'm like, oh, it's coming up.
No, I didn't catch it. I thought you might have just been laughing about like some of the absurdity of like. The girl that knows the house is cursed goes into the house, and then her parents run in, and I heard you chuckling. It was like, oh, okay.
No, I was pre-laughing at the Toshio.
This dumb bitch just killed her parents. So, but yeah, no, it was a blast. Laughing at some of those parts.
I like the part where you've got the four boys, like the three are bullying the one, and they like, go, we're gonna give you a bunch of rocks and go in this house, and ooh, it's spooky in the house.
Yeah, count to 1,000. Don't come out until you do.
Yeah, so he walks inside, sees Toshio, and is like, well. So he walks out of the house and throws a rock at one of the kids, and then like dips in the house, and the other three chase after him. Just kind of like, you motherfuckers made me look at a ghost, so eat rock.
He at least got the pleasure of watching those little dudes die before
he got snatched by Kayako.
Yeah, but like that part was funny. Like that for a little nerd kid who was like so gentile, that dude had a rocket for an arm.
Like direct hit right in there.
And then the other one right in the nose from point blank range. That kid, he had a rocket.
With no rewind up either, because I mean, you open up the thing, it was just kind of like Ant Rock. Like there was no back throw. It was just kind of like Ant
Rock. But yeah, it was so absurd, and it was funny. And I'll be honest with you, there was a few times in the movie where I did get a chill. Like I always love it whenever you're expecting something, and then like they kind of hide things in plain sight, where like they're standing way in the background.
Yeah.
When we watched the first death of the lady who went to the house to do the wellness check.
And you
saw her standing in the background, and like I didn't see it.
Oh, you didn't?
I was watching her, and my wife was just Amber was like, like pointing, and I was just like, "What the fuck is she?" And then that's when like she shot up to the front, like right behind her, and I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
So I didn't see her standing in the background at first.
So I think something I like about, I don't know if it's in the ring group just because we haven't seen it, but like in the ring, like when Samara comes to kill you, you got that weird like spooky open mouth face, which is kind of like dumb looking. All in all, in this one, like when Sadako comes for you, like you look into her eyes and whatever it is makes you kill yourself. So her curse is the kill yourself, which always makes it seem like there's not really a ghost after you. People are just off of themselves.
They're suiciding themselves.
Yeah, and then kind of having that little bit of her hair left. That's kind of like a memento.
Right.
So I just thought that was kind of cool. Like a lot of the deaths, you'd walk in and she's just got like the power cord around her neck, and the one girl takes a dive into like a glass table.
The other one like stabbed herself in the throat with a steak knife.
With the one girl who like took her own head and made her look at her own chest.
Yeah, that was good stuff.
That's commitment.
Really, and then like I think she headbutted another dude and turned his face into like
that was the
arse face from the preacher.
Yeah, the main actress's lady like headbutted the dude when she was trying to like stop someone. Like,
yeah,
it's like, yeah, don't stop Sadako from killing somebody because she's gonna come and kill you right back.
I mean,
even if she's coming to kill you.
That part was amusing. That part was amusing. Like that part, the way the guy's face looked whenever he got like,
it's funny.
Yeah, that was amusing. He literally looked like arse face from Preacher. Look it up online. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
It's actually a pretty good show. Well, hey Nick, have you seen Preacher? Oh, we're not doing TV shows yet.
We're not doing TV shows
okay,
yet.
all right,
So
never mind.
That's a big commitment.
Yeah, no. It's done now. But
I just mean shows in general to be like an hour and a half movie versus like, hey Lance, have you seen Supernatural?
Well, this part of the series will be over in about 23 years.
I haven't seen Supernatural either, but that's just another one of those ones where like people have said it's good, but it's 10, 12 seasons. I'm like, I'm not gonna watch 12 seasons of a TV show at this point.
Well, we could short it down and just be like, hey, Nick, have you seen the episode of Supernatural where Dean keeps dying, like Groundhog Day style? Because my wife had me watch that episode. It was pretty damn funny, I gotta say. It almost made me want to watch the show, and I was like, oh, okay. How many episodes per season? Oh, there's like 23. How many seasons are there of the show?
16?
16?
16.
Okay. Yeah, 16 at, 16 times 23?
Yeah, it's too many.
It's math.
The 16th
So
season might not have a full season order.
It might be
No?
like a half season.
Because
or
it
something.
was, 16th season was COVID season.
okay, so if the 16th season didn't have 21 episodes, it's still math episodes, big math episodes.
I mean, that's still like 300 plus episodes.
Yeah, it's no.
And if they're like the 40-minute episodes, like I'm pretty sure they are.
Yeah,
or
it's
like
not
42 minutes or whatever.
it's no One Piece run, but it's still that's pretty hefty.
Yeah, it's like, hey, let's sit down and watch One Piece or Bleach or Naruto or like I didn't start at the beginning. If I was watching it one episode at a time when it was coming out, that would be different. Versus they go back in time and watch all of it at once when there's so much stuff that's even short that I've not seen yet. That I mean, there's only so much time in life. You've got to kind of pick and choose your things that are probably good, but you just have to like, well, I'm gonna chance it on something else or whatever.
I just thought of a new thing for a channel. So you just heard us talk shit about Supernatural.
There's shit. It's just
well, okay. You just heard us say that we were exhausted at the idea of watching Supernatural.
that's more like it.
So our challenge is for this particular episode, down in the comments, link us an episode. Tell us the season and an episode and what you think will actually get us hooked to start wanting to watch the show. Because I'm curious. Because I know my wife. She wanted me to watch the Dean dying over and over episode, and it was very, very good. It so close made me want to start watching it. And then I was like, it's a big commitment, 16 seasons. She's like, well, just watch the first 3 seasons. And she wants a high five off camera.
5 seasons.
Oh, 5 seasons. Sorry, she didn't want a high five. I'm an idiot. Anyways, first 5 seasons is all I needed to watch apparently, but still, that's
5 seasons.
It's like 100 episodes. So
and it's So I would think of long ass series and think of like a couple good episodes. And it's not that like I'm sure Supernatural is great. 300 episodes. Yeah, that's just kind of there's a lot of stuff to watch. I'm paying for a lot of streaming services that I don't even watch all the stuff on.
I'm old. I don't want to spend the last few years of my life watching a show that has like Doctor Who and Supernatural numbers. Like that's another show that I keep getting told I need to watch. Yes, I have not watched Doctor Who.
I petered out on it.
So you did start it.
Yes, I started like that at the Eccleston years, which was like essentially the reintroduction of Doctor Who, and I went to like Matt Smith, and then I'm like, I miss David Tennant, and then I just kind of stopped watching the show.
A lot of people say that like David Tennant basically kind of slew it.
Eccleston was really good, and David Tennant was really good, and Matt Smith was okay, but he like I've been watching like 2 seasons or whatever of David Tennant, and I'm like, man, I miss David Tennant. Then he was like the villain in
Blade.
No, the one with Jessica Jones.
Morbius.
Jessica Jones.
Oh.
He was Kilgrave in Jessica Jones.
Yes, the
And
Purple
I'm like,
Man.
Yeah, and I'm like, I did miss David Tennant.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. I liked him as Barty Crouch Jr.
Mm.
Hello, father. Which is doing that.
It's Scrooge McDuck.
Yeah,
which I've
yeah.
not seen either.
Doing the tongue thing, by the way, that also reminded me. It took out some of the creepiness factor every time you saw Toshio and he's doing the
Well,
thing.
so Toshio looked like he was like 14, 15, because he was like and they always had him crouched up too. Because I think in originally he was like 8 or something like that. And I don't know if you just can't get. We need to get an 8-year-old, paint him white real quick, and put him in like little underwear shorts. They're like, yeah, stop that. We'll give you a teenager that's an adult, and then just crouch him over and make him look like a kid.
Well, it also could have been the fact that they had a problem finding another 8-year-old kid in
After they-
Japan
after
that
they-
looked exactly like him. There's a racist joke in there somewhere, but we're not going to say it here. But
Well, they did that in The Grudge 3 as well. The kid that they got to play Toshio looked just too old. He didn't look like a kid anymore. He looked like a teenager.
Well-
And in this one, he looked like a teenager, which kind of... But he's always crouched, so it's only like when they showed the close-up thing, but I'm like, that's an adult's face, not a kid's face.
yeah, no, you're right. And that was the original actress who played...
No. Takako Fuji was the actress for Kayako, and she only did like... She did the Grudge 1 and 2, and then she did like Ju-on and a couple of the Ju-on movies.
You know, I really thought I was going to stump you on that one, but you had an answer immediately ready.
Who, Takako Fuji?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because like I said, The Grudge is my favorite movie.
Okay.
So...
So when you watched this movie and it wasn't the original actress, you were like, bullshit!
No, I mean, I knew it wasn't going to be, because I think she'd stop. There's been a couple of Ju-on movies where they've had different actresses, so I knew it was going to be someone else. Like, even in The Grudge 3, they had someone different come in and do Kayako, and it just didn't... She didn't move the same, like, the coloration they gave Kayako, like in The Grudge and Ju-on and stuff like that, it's more of like a pale-skinned, whereas, like, in The Grudge 3, there's, like, just white, right? Just paint her white, and like, now she just looks...
Is it like your arms in the video right now?
Oh yeah, look at how white am I? Like any bit of light like reflects off these laser beams right here and just blows it out.
When you go jogging at night, people definitely see in the headlights.
That's good. Jogging at night. Look at this.
Well, you just should start coming jogging with me at night. I can't even go through the rest of the shtick. I don't jog. It's fucking dumb. Anyways, I will say, overall, I did give it a 7 out of 10. After talking about it and reminiscing with you, I could be talked into giving it an 8.
I think 7 pretty good.
And we're not going to do halves here. We decided no halves because it turns into a 20-point scale. 20.
Yeah, I mean at that point you might as well scale it from 0 to 100 and then give it a 71 or 72 or whatever.
Yeah.
Whereas it's a 7, maybe edging on an 8.
Yeah.
I think it depends. If you sit alone, like you like these type of movies, and you sit alone at your house and watch it, it might be a 7. If you like getting together with a bunch of your friends and riffing on movies, maybe it's an 8 for you.
I think that's what gave it. If I would have just watched it here by myself, I don't know if I would have enjoyed it as much.
Yeah.
Like talking, like the beats on the movie where like these obvious jokes showed up.
Yeah.
That was like a lot of fun for me because like me, you, and Amber were just going to town. A movie that was like 100 and it was like an hour and 37 minutes, I believe.
I don't know.
Took us about 2 hours and 15 minutes to get through because we had to keep stopping it and making predictions and saying jokes and stuff.
Well, you had to keep stopping it.
But I mean,
you were in control of the power.
Yeah, that's true. But I
So just making jokes at their kind of expense. Or not, no, you're just playing along with it. Because some of it's silly. And I think it's meant to be kind of creative kills. I mean, someone walks up to someone and snaps their head like completely sideways and you see the bone go... I'm like, that's funny.
Been there, done that.
And just like the woman headbutting the teacher and them both falling. That's funny.
Yeah, it was good.
And then you kind of have the kind of creepy moments interlaced in it, like the little video with Sadako's video. I mean, it's kind of creepy.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't know if it's as creepy as the one in like The Ring, where it was just showing all those weird scenes. But instead, you have the one where like, and she like climbs out of the well. This one is more if you got a door, it opens up, and she like Sadako walks out of the door.
She did pour out the TV the one time.
Can't she did at least come out of the TV?
Yeah. So.
And she did come out of the well once when she was them combined, merged into Yuri's body or whatever. And then she kind of crawls out of the well, but does like the Ju-on thing, and then stands up and does like the kind of half Sadako, half Kayako sort of stand. And
yeah, they have like a total Akira moment where like they turn into a giant horror bubble, and like I love that. So okay, before we get off it, I won't take long on it, but let's talk about the male.
Not Keiko? No, what was his name?
The male demon
Keizo?
hunter.
Keizo.
Yes.
Okay.
So that dude was something else. Let me tell you. There's a part in this movie. I'm sorry, I'm going to spoil this for you because
we're talking about spoilers.
It was so funny. They won't. It's a guy. It's a demon hunter that has a little girl. She's like blind, but she can like see. She has her third eye open, so where she could see spirits and stuff like that.
Yeah, she can see like the spirit world or whatever.
And he has the know-how. He like David Blaine's the shit, and like he can cut like spirit tethers and everything like that. Like he's a badass.
Yeah.
So they're like a really cool team. They go to the cursed house, and they open the door. And it's funny because they're standing outside. They're clearly not dumb enough to walk into the house. The door was wide open. And, like, you get this long shot down the hallway where you can see them at the door. And you have just enough to where you can see Toshio sitting over on the side, like, inside of a door.
But out of sight.
Out of sight where they can't see him.
Where they can't see him.
And, like, it was funny because the little girl's like, there's a spirit in there. It's dark. Like, it's powerful. And, like, the dude reaches over and picks up a rock, puts the jibbity on it.
Does his little blessing.
Yeah, and then he throws it. He wings it inside the house. And it bounces off the door, off the frame, off the door again, and like goes inside the room and nails the kid. And you hear the kid like meow and like run off. That part was fucking comedy gold. I gotta tell you, like that part was so damn good. But yeah, that's just little things like that made this movie enjoyable. And
I like how they set him up to be like he's kind of a powerful exorcist. And then like when Kayako and Sadako like merge and kind of are doing like their big thing, he's like, "Don't worry, guys, I'll protect you." Murdered.
Yeah.
Just bats him aside like he's nothing. Like like what I like about these movies, because if this was an American movie, like somehow they'd figure out some sort of way for like Yuri or whatever and Suzuka to like live and kind of come out the other side. This is a Japanese movie. Like the curse wins. Like we bring these two curses together to fight, and what happens when they fight each other? They become one bigger, badder, super curse.
They become the Reese's peanut butter cup of like fucking cursed monsters.
You take the chocolate of Sadako and the peanut butter of Kayako and put them together, and you got Reese's, and then they'll go on to rule the world.
Two ghoulish souls that go great together. I don't know. It was just. I did not expect that ending, but at the same time, I just loved how like those demon hunters are so badass, and they're like, "We'll trap them in the well, and you put the wicker mat over the top of it, and they'll be stuck in there forever." And the ghost is like, "Beep."
False.
Yeah, that was really good. But like,
so I think that goes to show that the Keizo just kind of, if you act like you know what you're talking about, and you do a couple cool things, people trust you. Just be like, "Oh, we're gonna throw a couple curses out." He didn't know what the fuck he was doing.
No.
Put these two curses together, and they'll fight each other, and they'll like kill each other, and then you'll be fine. It's like, no, like Sadako is pretty strong and kind of like wrecked Toshio in an instant, and kind of like choked out Kayako, and it was good stuff.
I just thought of something.
What's that?
You could kill them easily if you have them kill John Wick's dog.
No.
You don't think so?
No, not even.
You think they killed John Wick?
Absolutely. Well, you saw, like, what's he going to do, shoot her? Like, Sadako exploded Kayako with her hair, and then she just kind of, like, came back and, like, crushed her videotape. Like, they're literally, they're already dead. What's he going to do, shoot him with ghost bullets?
I mean, yeah. Like, that movie established that, like, everything is a thing, apparently, and,
Drop a couple gold down, buy some ghost bullets.
Yeah. You have a priest bless the bullets, you dip the lead in them. That's Catholicism way of thinking that probably will not work. So, okay, never mind. Sorry, I was just trying to figure out a way. But
no, these girls are unkillable.
Yeah.
What you got to do is go find yourself a Freddy Krueger, and then maybe they can all merge into one. and become a super demon.
Then they could fight Godzilla, and then
Well, they just kill Godzilla. He's not cool enough to merge with ghosts.
yeah, but would they like take him? Think about that.
And then use him.
Giant radiation lizard with like dead spirits inside of him that like murder you with videotapes. Yeah. Yeah. So, in the end, I will say, if you want to watch a movie that by yourself could give you a bit of a chill, because there were times where like I got the goose flesh.
And even when I was watching it on my own, it was still kind of funny too. Had some chills and still some humor. So I think watching it by yourself is probably a 7.
Yeah, definitely.
Watching it with a group of your friends,
8.
maybe an 8.
Yeah, like
One of those fun group movies.
Sure. Yeah, it like I said, if I'd been watching that by myself, I'd have been like, okay, it was a good movie. But like because y'all were here and we were riffing on it so hard,
Yeah.
and still paying attention to it.
Oh yeah, and it's just like the point of getting together with your friends to watch movies is to not sit in silence and watch the movie.
Yeah.
You want to sit and you want to watch the movie and kind of like make jokes like when "Run Buffy Run" or
Yeah.
"I Got to Go."
So I will say, if I'm talking about which spirit was like the coolest, who had the highest kill count, like which spirit I liked the best, the coolest one out of the two, I would have to say that it's the girl from The Ring. Is it Samara? Sadako. I think she had the higher of the two kill counts. I think that she was just a badass. I think she definitely whipped the Ring girl's ass. Like hands down.
Girl,
Yeah, she had a higher kill count. She was just... Mushy mushy. Yeah. Well, I think you're dope too. Wait, does this mean you're not going to come after me? Really? Oh, you got a good sense of humor. All right. No, cool. Yeah, I'll make a copy. Okay. All right. Bye. I love you too. Bye.
Yeah, I'm not watching it.
Hey, Nick, have you seen the curse tape? So she's not going to kill me now.
That's good.
Yeah. She said it was cool. But yeah, just watch the movie if you feel like having a good time.
I'm Team Kayako.
Really?
Yeah.
It's just because it's your favorite movie?
Yeah. I think that their way of moving is just a lot cooler too.
Then you're
like Sadako's got that cool kind of like shoulder movement and kind of like head turn. But Kayako like climbing down the stairs with that like head pops and stuff.
Yeah, and then the crazy.
That's very good body acting that I think is really cool.
Let's see how the girl does. Like she didn't do the crazy crab walk. The girl who becomes the new Sayako. We'll see how she pulls it off because I hope there's a part 2 to this movie because it would be fun.
I would hope so too. Because I mean they've kind of set it up for like the video is on the internet and it can be spread to a bunch of people. Yeah. And now they showed you at the there's an after credits scene. Guys, stay to after credits where you get to see the new updated tape that shows the Sayako or whatever version of it where she kind of comes out but just doing the grudge thing and then kind of doing the grudge croak. And
when the credits started rolling and you still let it like go, I was kind of like I wonder. And then that was a nice little addition.
Go watch
yeah
the movie.
If you want a movie that's going to creep you out a little bit by yourself, but I'll also kind of like be like that's so fucking whack. This movie's a fun one.
Yeah, I mean you could definitely do with worse horror movies. So man, if you watch Shudder, if you're a Shudder subscriber, I think it's on the Shudder servers because at the beginning of the movie it says Shudder exclusive. So I hope it's on Shudder.
Should be.
If not, I know it's on YouTube, and you could rent it or you should buy it. Just go ahead and buy it. You're gonna want to watch it. Like watch it yourself and then be like, hey friend, have you seen this movie? Come watch it with me. Yeah. Or get your friends together. Have a good watch party.
Yeah, it's. I would definitely say that it's a lot of fun. It's just very amusing. Get yourself some doobie snacks, maybe drink 1 or 2 beers, invite a few people over, and watch the movie. And you're gonna be fucking hollering. You're gonna be screaming. It's funner than Sharknado. But yeah, I would say that if you really want to have fun, good Saturday night, watch this movie. Yeah,
I would concur.
Is there anything we need to cover more about it?
I think that's a glowing review for Sadako versus Kayako.
So, I know this is normally the part where I say, "Hey Nick, have you seen?"
Yes.
But I think what I'm gonna do is I want to extensively go through my library and find something, because I know there's a couple of other movies that I have seen that I really like that I loaned to you because you were doing that like movie a day kind of a thing.
Which just till the end of the year, and I'm almost done.
Yeah. Well, I want to go through my flicks and see if I could find something that I'm really, really like into. Like I've got my top 10 movies in like each genre kind of like in my head, but I'm not sure what I have in the folder. So I'm gonna spin through those and see if I can find something.
We're not leaving you with a cliffhanger this time. We're leaving with a cliffhanger for a cliffhanger.
Yeah. To be continued, but we'll just surprise you with the next title.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for watching. And please, I told myself in the beginning I did not want to be one of those guys that's like, click the bell and fucking like and subscribe and comment and like that. But apparently,
sometimes you got to do the little call for action.
Yeah, well, I mean, like
click the subscribe or the subscribe button.
Yeah,
if you want to be notified whenever we put up a new video, you can click the little bell.
Yeah, like apparently you have to do that because the computer buries you if people aren't watching your shit. But
it's by liking videos, commenting, and getting in the comments, having a bit of a discussion. Yeah. Like I think this time is maybe other versus movies, other cool versus movies. If there's a long series that maybe there's a couple good episodes that you think will really hook people, kind of like Don't Blink for Doctor Who or whatever it is. Those kind of these single episodes, I bet will get you to watch a whole series. Like, why don't you put some of those down? Like some of your favorite episodes of some long series.
Yeah, like just challenge us with some movies, and like we'll see if we can actually like fit them in. And who knows, we'll give you credit at the beginning of the movie and say this person wanted us to watch this flick.
Oh, yeah.
So
you got some good movies that maybe we haven't seen. Ask us. Like, hey guys, have you seen?
Yeah, that'd be That'd be amazing if like some big YouTuber like watched this and was just like, hey, watch this movie, and then we could be like, Jeremy Johns, go help his channel. And then maybe could help ours. But, we want to entertain you. We want to talk movies. Or we're going to do it either way. Because, we like hanging out with each other and shooting the shit. But it would help if you could like, subscribe, comment, hit that bell, do all the shits. Give to our Patreon. For every $1 you give, I'll come over and kiss your dog. For every $5 you give, I'll come over and kiss your feet.
Not actually promises.
I'm not really going to do that. And then maybe... we had some ideas for some giveaways for people who actually can like help us promote our stuff, like for some of the Patreon stuff. But we'll cover that more in depth later. But we're both too lazy to figure out how to set up a Patreon right now, so that'll happen
in the future. Keep an eye out.
But
if you enjoy what we do,
help us out.
Just talking. I mean, if you like listening to us talk about movies and not show clips of them, because I don't want to be hit by the YouTube.
We don't want to do that.
Demonetize ban buttons.
We don't know enough about doing this yet, and we don't want to get shut down before we get started.
Yeah.
Help us out. We'd love to do another movie review for you. The next one will be a surprise. Yeah. And we've got some other ideas set up for some formats for movies, so we can try and keep it fresh instead of talking about movies that you did not know existed and probably otherwise would not have watched.
We'll try to get some more popular ones out there.
Yeah, we have like Dune recorded. I just haven't put it up yet.
Hopefully by the time this one's out, you can go watch our Dune review.
I think that's the next one to be put up, actually.
Yeah, probably.
But anyways, thanks again. I hope y'all are all having a fantastic night. And once again, I'm Lance.
And I'm Nick.
And you've been watching...
Measure of a Movie.
Yep. No, it's
supposed to have you seen.
Yeah.
Have you seen.
Okay, let's just turn it off. I'm losing it. Bye.
Bye.